foggy and there's tons of people outside for whatever reason. And what did I read today? I guess it was kind of interesting reading this, where with that story the other day, you read how there were countries using, for example, $1 million missiles to take down drones that cost maybe $2,000 only. Well, how about this one? I guess this will help them in the future in terms of their military applications and all that, I guess. This one says, Advanced Future Military Laser achieves UK first. During a trial at the MOD's Headbridges range, the DragonFire laser-directed energy weapon system achieved the UK's first high-power firing of a laser weapon against aerial targets. The range of DragonFire is classified, but it is a line-of-sight weapon and can engage with any visible target. DragonFire exploits UK technology to be able to deliver a high-power laser over long ranges. The precision required is equivalent to hitting a 1-pound coin from a kilometer away. That's pretty accurate, I must say anyways, if that's true. It says laser-directed energy weapons can engage targets at the speed of light and use an intense beam of light to cut through the target, leading to structural failure or more impactful results if the warhead is targeted. Firing it for 10 seconds is the cost equivalent of using a regular heater for just an hour. Therefore, it has the potential to be a long-term low-cost alternative to certain tasked missiles currently carried out. The cost of operating the laser is typically less than 10 pounds per shot. Pretty chunky piece of equipment too, if that's what it looks like. It says DragonFire is led by the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory on behalf of the UK MOD, working with its industry partners MBDA, Leonardo and Kinnicky Q. The milestone demonstrated the ability to engage aerial targets at relevant ranges and is a major step in bringing this technology into service. Both the Army and Royal Navy are considering using this technology as part of their future air defense capabilities. And you bet they invested a lot of money into this too, because it says the DragonFire weapon system is the result of a £100 million joint investment by the Ministry of Defence and Industry. Together, the companies involved are supporting highly skilled UK jobs and new cutting-edge technologies that are delivering a significant step change in the UK's capability in LDEW systems. In 2017, the MOD's Chief Scientific Advisors Research Program awarded a £30 million contract to the DragonFire Consortium to demonstrate the potential of LDEWs. I'm actually surprised they don't have stuff like this already in terms of trying to take down things like missiles or, like in that story yesterday, let's just say small drones and all that when it comes to things like the military anyways. Because to my knowledge, they always have all these high-tech gear and stuff that you've never heard of because they have to keep it secret, huh? And then I was reading this, which was kind of interesting. As you know, there's a lot of people who fear-monger people who fly drones. They could be just flying it for fun, it could be a toy, but in some cases, people will use them in a bad way. And how about this one, where apparently this guy that got caught, I guess you could say, trying to use a drone to potentially spy on someone. He has a very sketchy background, I guess you could say. This one says, man accused of spying on neighbor with drone charged with child molestation. The man caught peering into a Cranston women's home using a drone last summer has been charged with child molestation. Christopher Jones, 50, was taken into custody Thursday and charged with second-degree child molestation according to RI Attorney General Peter Naranha. Jones is accused of sexually assaulting a child under the age of 14 years old on a day sometime between April 8, 2023 and April 8, 2026. This comes months after Jones was arrested for using a drone to look into Stephanie Morell's bathroom window as she was preparing to take a shower. Morella went outside to investigate and saw the drone hovering near the window. That's when she grabbed the drone as it tried to fly away and threw it into her pool. I have no peace of mind, Morella previously told 12 News. I'm disgusted and I feel violated. So apparently he was charged with it, for example, with things like voyeurism, which again, it would apply to anyone, it doesn't matter what you're using, and it says he's now being held without bail on the child molestation charge pending his next court date, which has been scheduled for March 12th. So it makes me curious, are people going to use this as an example where, oh look, there could be like this quote criminal that will use it in this way, so you need to restrict everyone. Doesn't matter if it's over the top and all that, it's just to prevent stuff like this. But I would say in that case too, like here, do you seriously think a person like this is gonna stop over some, for example, drone rule? I don't think so. You need to find ways to deal with people like this, in my opinion. And then this one video was spreading around a lot online. It has to do with that event called Davos, where there's an organization called the WEF. It's supposed to be a bunch of, I guess, powerful political people or business people that gather together and talk about potential changes, I suppose, which they feel is the best for the world. I actually never heard of this organization personally before until all the recent lockdowns and so forth, where when I was reading the news, it seemed like there were so many people that had the same talking points as, I guess, this organization, and they're all under the same umbrella, it seems like. But in general, the argument is this is a, quote, elitist organization. They're against the people. They want to take away their rights. That would be the argument. But then you would think everyone they would invite would kind of share their philosophy or direction. That's why this was so fascinating, and I suppose why it's going viral, because there was this person here, Kevin Roberts, who's the president of the Heritage Foundation, and he basically tore them apart, it seems like. As you can read in their own description, it says, our very own Dr. Kevin Roberts went to the belly of the beast to give globalist elites a clear message. Americans will not tolerate a woke agenda that strips them of self-governance and liberty. So you can see what he says here. Again, it's kind of crazy in terms of what he was able to say, considering he was given a platform to do so.
But the thing that I want to drive home here, the very reason that I'm here at Davos, is to explain to many people in this room and who are watching, with all due respect, nothing personal, but that you're part of the problem. Political elites tell the average people on 3 or 4 or 5 issues that the reality is X, when in fact reality is Y. Take immigration. Elites tell us that open borders and even illegal immigration are okay. The average person tells us in the United States that both rob them of the American way of life. They're right. I guess the favorite at the World Economic Forum is climate change. Elites tell us that we have this existential crisis with so-called climate change, so much so that climate alarmism is probably the greatest cause for mental health crisis in the world. The solutions, the average person know, based on climate change are far worse and more harmful and cost more human lives, especially in Europe during the time that you need heating, than do the problem and the problems themselves. China, the number one adversary, not just to the United States, but to free people on planet Earth. Not only do we at Davos not say that, we give the Chinese Communist Party a platform. Another supranational organization, the World Health Organization, is discussing foisting gender ideology upon the global South. These are practices that are under review, if not being rejected, by countries in Northern Europe.
So what would you think of this situation? Again, it's just kind of crazy how he was able to express this. And I do believe, just from observation, a lot of people do feel this way too. So to me, it's not a surprise anyways, but it's always interesting when someone at a higher up, they're completely shell-shocked. That's not the type of wildlife I expect to see on a cold day with snow. All right, see you guys later.